Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Hey, you should just write down the date. You should just write down the time and remember where you were when the first episode ever of You Tell Me, Uncle Neely and Deuce the Scoop kicked off. Deuce the Scoop, what's going on, brother?
Man, I'm so excited, man. Every day has been a good day lately, man. You probably seen me smiling all over the place, man. Just happy.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it that way, man. This is episode 1 of Infinity, new partnership between you, me, pregame show. What you got going? We're gonna do these live on Mondays. It's You Tell Me is the title of the show. Because sometimes, man, you just get to where I can't figure this out. You tell me, like help me out. I'm trying to understand, Deuce, what the hell is going on. So you tell me. So that's the name of this partnership. We're gonna get it going, man. Our super producer in the background, BiggDogg Chico. So it's gonna be running live on his channel as well. A lot of more partnerships to come. Duke, man, how has your week been going, even though it's just Monday?
Man, it's been great, man. I just came off the field, just ran my little boy about 50 hills. He tired, so he gonna be sleeping in a minute. So I can do whatever I want to do now, man. It's been a good week. That's a lot of good news today. So, man, this has been the best part of my day, man. I've been ready for this all day, and I just want to tell you, thank you, like brother to brother, man. And Chico, you too, big dog. Like as far as the way y'all embraced me, you picked me up when I was down, and it wasn't a handout, it was a hand up. And hey man, and it's up from here. So I want to tell y'all, thank y'all just from me to you in front of everybody.
Well, man, I will accept that, and it's not necessary, but I'll certainly accept it. And like I told you before, your name was ringing loud in rooms before any of this happened. And so when it happened, it was one man closing the window, but God opened the door. And so I appreciate what occurred. So now we get to do, because we had already been discussing and talking about some things,
right.
But of course, there were some encumbrances in the way that have now been removed. We get to do what we want to do on our terms,
right,
and move that thing forward. So I'm loving it, man. And as far as your compliments to myself and Chico, I'm reminded of the words of Tupac Shakur. When Tupac said, "That's how it's supposed to be."
Man.
How can the devil take a brother if he's close to me?
Man, come on, man. Hey, you can't get it nowhere else.
Yeah. How can he do it? Like the only way the enemy can get you is you out there by yourself.
Man, come on, man. Let me tell you something. I just been moved ever since, man. Y'all caught me on that first day. And me and you had talked, and before anybody knew anything, my second phone call after I talked to Prime was to you. And I say this, man, you've been like the whole time, like it's been the same thing. And for anybody who ain't met Uncle Neely in person, man, it ain't fake. It ain't just how it look on how it looks on screen is how it is in real life for sure.
Man, I've always said I ain't never wanted to be the biggest, just wanted to be the realest. Just keep it 100 with folks. It's the laws of attraction. If you put your true self out there, what is meant for you is going to come back to you. It's when you faking it that fake things come to you. So you just got to live in your truth, man, and be able to sleep well at night and look in the mirror in the morning. And that's really all that matters, man. As we get into this first episode of You Tell Me, Scoop, I got something you got to tell me.
Okay, come on, shoot.
Before this season kicked off, we had coaches changes. I'm talking about serious upgrades. You bring in, first round picks like D. Lewis for the D line. You bring in Hall of Famers like Warren Sapp. Dancing moves up. You get coordinators with NFL experience. You upgraded players in positions. You tell me, dude, how did they have us picked 11th in the Big 12 with all that? You tell me.
Man, I got to tell you, it wasn't Colorado hate. It was Prime hate. They was hating on Prime, dog. Like the whole time. Like I can say this now, they was hating on the man. There's no way that you looked at all of this that came with him, knowing that you had Shador, knowing that you had Travis, knowing what you had on that defensive line, what you got out of the portal. They brought documented production. It's one thing to bring guys who don't have production and say, oh, I don't know what he's going to do. Yeah. We saw what these guys were doing at their last stop. Like, it ain't like Dion Hayes ain't know what he was doing. Okunlola, come on, bro. Like, they've been doing this. Nakai Hill Green, excuse me. Been doing it. They were doing this, bro. So it's and coach, everybody knew what Coach Hood was going to be. He was on everybody's chart saying, hey, this is going to be one of those sleeper guys at Auburn. He'll probably start at Auburn. You knew what you were getting. So when you look at the roster and you say, how can you go look at this roster and compare it to everyone else in the Big 12 and say they're going to be that low? It went number 8. And I ain't pulling no punches, man. They was hanging on the man. That's it.
Not middle of the pack. I mean, 11th with all those upgrades, man. It's just unbelievable. And I look, I totally agree. Now, one thing that the audience need to know about this show, we ain't discussing no questions in advance. It's okay for us to disagree or agree. It just is what it is. But I'm letting you know, I totally agree with you. That's what it is, because I've seen it happen. Travis Hunter was number 1 in the nation. He decides to come to Jackson State to be with Coach Prime. All of a sudden, he's number 3. Shador Sanders should have been a 5-star, but because his last name Sanders, he a 4. Some people had him at 3. Whenever something is dealing with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, they just keep moving the goalposts and changing the standards and the metrics, and he still just keep on winning. I mean, this guy took a 1-11 program to 4-8, and now 7-2 with all the goals in front of him. I'm with you. It's just hate.
Yeah. All right, I got one for you.
Come on.
You tell me why they keep trying to act like Colorado ain't a good enough school for Coach Prime and he got to go somewhere else to win, like he ain't winning right now. You tell me.
So the people, let me deal with 2 sides of that coin. Internally, there are people who are longtime supporters of Colorado, maybe alums, fans, what have you, didn't believe he was coming. I experienced this at Jackson State as well, because you don't think you deserve him. Like what this guy brings to the table exceeds your views of yourself, your own self-esteem. So you find it hard to believe that he would even be here with you. And then as things get good and get rolling, now that doubt creeps in, like, oh man, I really didn't believe he would come. I bet he's getting ready to leave. Now, the external people, attaching back to what your answer is about the hate, they just want him to move so they can say, see, told you so, told you he wouldn't be there long. And if you look at Coach Prime's career, particularly in athletics, when he's moved for bigger reasons to impact more people. He ain't moved just because he got mad at a teammate. The other thing you'll see is when he moved, let's go back to the Atlanta Falcons. I know you got the helmet back there behind you. They didn't even try to keep him. They had just they just came to the conclusion that we can't afford him. He's going to go to somebody bigger than us, so we're not even going to try. Jackson State, at the midnight hour, made an extension offer that did not take care of his assistant coaches, just him. But it really wasn't a true value face offer. It wasn't a real offer. It was just to say, okay, we tried, but they really didn't mean it. Coach Prime wants to be in Boulder, Colorado. He loves it here. I know he wants to win a national championship here. And, oh, man, just God bless, the first Black coach to do that. And with the resources that AD Rick George's and the collectives are working on, I think we're on that path that we can compete with those quote-unquote blue bloods, that you don't have to necessarily look to go there to win. You're going to be able to win here. He's proven he can recruit here, whether it's a portal, whether it's high schoolers. He's proven he can get staffers to come work here. Look at the NFL experience and the Gold Jackets in the building. I just think people need to look in the mirror and stop saying, hey, man, I believe you're going to leave. And what does that really say about you and your self-esteem? Because when you go to the party, do you stand on the wall, or do you ask the baddest one to dance with you? And then when she say, yeah, you sitting there saying, oh, she probably just going to dance one song and leave. I think she going to dance with me all night. My self-esteem is healthy.
Man, I love it. I love it. Great answer. I agree. You can't turn on ESPN without hearing about him leaving. You can't turn on none of these sports pundits who didn't even want to say that Colorado was a good team at the beginning of the year And now it's, oh, well, he deserves this job. He deserves, but come on, bro. And one thing about Coach Prime, he got the receipts. So we gonna see it. I cannot wait to see all these receipts. But hey, listen, I was there. I was somewhere else. I was taking my own. You feel me? But I no disparaging comments. I ain't gonna say nothing because we still getting a little. Yeah, what I mean.
Yeah, I got. Yeah. Dust got some.
Yeah, but
that last direct deposit got hit.
You hear me? but what I will say is this, man. Like, it's a beautiful thing when you can change the narrative from you can't do it there to you can't do it here. Like those goalposts you said keep moving. Now it's oh yeah, he can do it at Colorado now, but can he do it at a ACC or SEC?
Yeah.
Right? Why couldn't he? He did it everywhere he's been.
They ran that same BS on Eddie Robinson and Grambling. He was just playing flat. He was beating who the hell was in front of him is what he was doing. The same thing Joe Paul was doing up there at Penn State. The same thing Nick Saban was doing in the SEC. I can't control who's in my conference on my schedule, but I can control the outcome of effort and coaching and what ends up on that scoreboard. So you have to acknowledge that coaching is coaching. So whether he was at Trinity Truth, Jackson State, or now at Colorado, you just have to realize and appreciate this dude knows what he's doing. He knows how to put people in the right places and bring out the best of them. I told some people, over the years, this scenario, Deuce Scoop. I said, look here, y'all. You can put Deion Sanders as CEO of Amtrak, and it'd be the most successful train company the world has ever known.
That's
because it ain't about trains, just like football ain't about a sport. It's about people. And when you have a leader that knows how to motivate and get the best out of people and put people in the best positions that suit their skill set, you're going to win.
Right. Absolutely. I love it.
Now, here's one another one I need you to tell me now.
All right.
I've been watching football a long time on the college level, and I've seen running backs break records, establish new plateaus, new highs. I've seen running backs win the Heisman Trophy. I've seen quarterbacks do certain things and win the Heisman Trophy. I ain't never seen what Travis Hunter is doing in college football. To people out there doubting whether this brother deserves to win the Heisman or even be in discussion, you tell me, how in the hell is it even possible to not even mention him in the conversation, let alone have him as the front runner?
Uncle Neely, can I get Colorado hate for 1,000? They got to be hating on Colorado. Man, look, I hate for this to be the same answer, right?
Yeah.
But how else can you take a guy who's putting up those numbers, top 5 at corner, top 5 at receiver, doing them both, doing the small things, right? Let's talk about that block when Western scored on that bubble last week. Let's talk about Travis Hunter wiping out the entire left side of the secondary. Those two corners that were out there, he got them both. Let's also talk about the interception that may have been one of the most athletic interceptions that we've seen all year long. The one time they did throw at him, right? Yeah. Why would you do that? Man, Lil Baby and Dirk got a song, and they say, why would you play when you know I don't play that? Like, why would you throw it? Why would you throw it at Trav and you know he don't play that? So when you got a guy, and my favorite thing, like they said, the earth is what? Back in the day, they said, what was it? Earth is 80% water or 70% water, and the rest is covered by Deion.
Yeah.
Same thing with Trav. So when you got a player who can do the same things on offense that he can do on defense, and Champ Baylor, my dog, Champ never played this much on both sides. Charles Woodson never played this much on both sides. Nobody has done what he's done. We've never seen it before. So when I go back and I say, okay, now we've seen a running back, and I love Jinty. I love Ashton, bro. Like, we've seen a running back. He's not going to break the running back record. He's not going to break the rushing yard record, right? We've seen that. Okay, cool. Now, I think he's having a hell of a season. All right, we've seen quarterbacks win it before. This is a true generational talent that we cannot sit here and nullify what he's doing because you don't like the colors that he's wearing. I guarantee you, if he was wearing Alabama maroon, if he was wearing Georgia red and black,
speak on it.
Come on, bro. He would be far and away the leader for the Heisman. They tried to keep Carson Beck in a Heisman candidacy as long as they could. As long as they could, they tried to give it to him. They tried to at least keep him in. I was seeing his name, and I'm like, bro, and no disrespect.
Yeah.
But that's just not the category that he was playing in this year. We're talking about the most valuable player who can impact the game in more ways in today's game than Travis Hunter. If he needed a snap at quarterback, he could get you one. I guarantee you he could probably kick a 30-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just betting on it. I would bet on
Yeah.
Travis seeing what he does. So, yeah, I just think I hate to keep using that term. But when it's true, it's true. There was a bias. There coming into the season, there was a bias against Colorado, and I'm gonna say it. And now you got to take that bias, and you cannot continue to look through those hate-colored glasses, those hate-filled lenses when you look at and take something away from something that this boy has earned.
I totally agree. Once again, totally agree with what you just broke down. When I look at what he is accomplishing and what the Heisman Trophy stands for, don't have their exact bylaws in front of me, but in paraphrasing, it's supposed to go to the best player in college football who demonstrates those attributes even on and off the field. You know, you look at how Travis carries himself away from the game. You look how he stops and takes pictures with kids and signs autographs, never in any trouble, ain't out partying and kicking it. It's about ball. And guess what? 4.0.
Come
Like
on,
it's
bro.
doing it in the classroom. 4, but not 3.8, not 3.9, 4.0, and is one of the best receivers, and at the same time, one of the best defensive backs, and is doing it at All-American status in both categories. How is this not the best player in college football? And I'll add to that the denial of having Shador in discussion. Yes, there are other quarterbacks who may have a touchdown or two more yardage here and there. But I tell you, when you look at completion percentage, when you look at the quarterback, a lot of quarterbacks out there, Dukes, are getting their teams out of trouble, but it's the very trouble that they put their team in earlier in the game. When has Shador put his team in trouble? Like, all he does is do the right reads, do the right thing again on and off the field. If both those young brothers are not sitting in New York City on that front row, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, listen. If that happens, then you can clearly see what's going on. But I think this is the season that the bias from Colorado leaves. And I'll tell you a story. 2004 Auburn. I know you remember. The SEC, all the stuff about the SEC started when? That season, when they didn't get in, when they went undefeated with J. Cam, Cadillac, Ronnie B, and all of them. And that's when the SEC stain started. This is the year that Colorado ends the bias, because at this, you cannot continue to hate on Deion. But I got a question for you. You tell me.
All right.
You tell me, when's the last time you've seen 4 cornerbacks that could start at multiple schools in Power 5 on the same roster? You tell me.
Let me tell you why you ain't seen it. You ain't seen it because you ain't had a recruiter tip of the spear like Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and Corey Phillips in that player personnel department, and the coaches that are going to be coaching these guys like a Kevin Mathis, like a Rob Livingston. When you're out there, I don't care if you're high school level, like Stottmeyer coming here. I don't care if you're transferring like Hodge did. When you look at the acumen of this coaching staff, starting at the top, and you play that position, frankly, man, you'd be a damn fool not to come here. Because whether you are a starter, when you look at how Rob Livingston rotates his defense, there's a guy who's in the second or third on the depth chart who's going to get just as many game reps as whoever went out there first. So it's not even about who's starting, because his system is predicated on getting my best 11 on the field, not trying to force my scheme. So if you're a corner out there playing in the secondary as safety even, like, dog, you have to be real with yourself and be like, there's no better place. The exposure, the acumen, the things I'm going to learn, my toolkit is going to increase. And look how many games going to be on TV. Like, I'm going to be seen, because attaching it to your previous point, and Coach Prime has said this, here come a big word, ad nauseum. He has said this all the time, Neely, winning make all that go away. Winning solve all those problems, because you get to a point where you just can't deny Hey, man, it might not be your thing, but Coca-Cola is a hell of a beverage company. Hey, man, it might not be your thing, but Amazon damn sure get it to your door fast. There's
Ooh,
just some success stories out there. Hey, man, he got a gold jacket playing in the NFL and he can coach. There's just some things you just got to say. I might not be a fan of it. I may not reach in my pocket and fund it, but I got to acknowledge what's happening there is great. And what is happening in this secondary room under Coach Kevin Mathis, having played in NFL with Coach Prime and without him, what's happening with the safeties and the entire defense under Rob Livingston, you just got to sit back and say, man, when you get to the second half of college football and you got a team out there and ain't nobody scoring more than 7 points in the third and fourth quarter combined,
hey man,
it is what it is.
Hey, listen, and that's the only thing I got to say. Uncle Neely, hey, you laid that one down. Ain't no rebuttal on that one, dog. Hey, you cleared the set on that one, my brother. Go ahead. I ain't got nothing to say.
I mean, well, I will tell you this: if you're just joining us, this is a live show. It is episode 1.
Yeah,
And we can't even put what the end gonna be because it's gonna be to infinity. This is the first episode of You Tell Me, a joint production between Dukes the Scoop and yours truly, Uncle Neely, going live on the Pregame Show Network, also on the BiggDogg Chico Network. He's the producer in the background. On the Pregame Show Network, man, we got over 1,000 watching live right now. Over 1,000. And Duke, that's why I just tell you, dog, don't get me wrong. If somebody invited me to come do a segment, I'm gonna go do it. But we got our own platforms. and you ain't have to ask me because you wear your hat to the back. You ain't have to say, can I wear this episode? This ours. We gonna be us on ours.
I'm so happy, man. Boy, it's a saying. I was gonna say how happy I was, but I ain't gonna say
it. Back in the South, that would have been as a runaway slave. That's my words, not yours. That's what we said back in Mississippi. Somebody had, boy, I happy as a runaway slave.
I almost feel like somebody chased me.
Man,
Opportunity. Look, tell it, bro. Look, hey, man. I can't, man. Listen, man. I'm so happy, dog. You got no idea how happy I am. Like, I'm sorry, so I can say nothing else, man. I'm happy. I don't want to keep talking about it, but man, it's exciting, man, because I can come on here, be myself. I ain't got to worry about what I want to do. I ain't got to worry about am I going to step on somebody's toes. I can talk about the people who've been good to me. I don't have to worry about how nobody else feel about it. I can go out here and just really experience how it feels to have your own in a world where I was always used to somebody telling me what I could do because they were helping feed my family. Now your brother helping you, bro. That's a plate. Hey man, we might as well pass the plate around. We can all eat, man. So it's a beautiful thing.
Let me encourage you. Let me before that plate go around. Let me do like you did on Sunday when you hopped on me and Chico. Let me preach a little bit. Sometimes we don't be knowing what words really mean because we just hear them all the time and then heard them all our life.
Right.
Hey man, the gospel means good news. You are encouraged. You are admonished. You are told to always spread good news. So, brother, don't ever shy away from telling the world how good you feel. Because somebody out there that hate, he always talking about how happy he is. That ain't nobody that's helping you no way. Right. What you sharing your story is going to do is encourage somebody else to step out on their faith. So we are encouraged, man, to share good news. Like share it, tell it, post it, preach it, because what you went through, Coach Prime said this about Pat Sherman when he hired him. He said he smelled like smoke because he'd been through the fire. And I tell people all the time, like my daughters, women friend of mine says, see, y'all be looking for that knight in shining armor.
Right.
That's just somebody that ain't been in battle. You want a knight with some dents in his helmet. You want a knight with a shoulder pad missing, because that's somebody who has been through a fight in a battle. A joker walk out there and that armor shining, man, you don't know what the hell he gonna do.
Right.
Give me somebody that's done been in the fight.
Right.
And I know my man Chop Kick, aka Phillip Dukes, I know he been through a fight.
Man, been through it. Hey, who is it on? It's on me or you, huh?
It's on you, Dad.
All right. Man, you tell me, what does Colorado have to do this weekend to beat Utah?
It's a great question. One thing we can't do is take them for granted. One thing we can't do is look ahead. Like this is not the Big 12 championship. We got 3 games we have got to complete before that. Because see, if you slip up, to the folks out there in the audience, now you're going to be depending on somebody else to slip up to keep the math in your favor. If you control what you can control, which is your effort and your attention to detail, and win these games, it doesn't matter who else in the conference wins or loses. You are firmly in the number 2 spot, maybe the number 1 spot if BYU is a slip up song. So what we got to do is not take this game for granted. What I do like about this 10 a.m. kickoff, it kind of matches our practice schedule going through the week. There's a lot of times we have these night games that we have to adjust a Thursday or Friday walkthrough to reset our body clock and go out there and do that at night. This 10 a.m. kickoff kind of matches what we do Tuesday through Friday. So I love that aspect of it. Utah is coming in here, man, a wounded, cornered animal. They should have beat BYU. They know that. They know they need a couple more wins to get a bowl game, and we're one of them. Although college football now changes year to year as far as who's on these teams, they also know programmatically that they have had Colorado's number for about 15 years now, and they ain't scared to play in Folsom. Them boys gonna come in here ready to play.
Right.
I think when it comes down to dude to staff, crowd in our favor, that it is all things pointing toward our success. But we got to hit them in the mouth early, and we got to take whatever fight they coming in here with out of them in the first quarter. We can't do this slow starting stuff.
Nah, I agree. I think it's important, like, to go ahead and step on them, step on their necks early. Like you said, the slow starts we've gotten accustomed to. And when you see Colorado start fast, it kind of just takes the wind out of them because they know it makes people adjust what they want to do. Because if they want to run the ball and Colorado starts fast, well, you ain't got that much time, because by the time Shedeur get clicking, you can't keep up with how fast Colorado can score, and they can do it in a heartbeat. So by coming out and starting fast, especially defensively as well, where, you go ahead and kind of let them know we're coming this way for 4 quarters, because at that point, then you kind of break somebody's spirit. And I know, like football wise, when you see somebody with a broken spirit, even in life, when you see somebody with a broken spirit, they don't move the same. They don't act the same. They don't perform the same. And so now if you can come out and break their spirit early and let them know it's going to be a long flight back to Utah, because it's going to be a lot of sad faces, a lot of sad singing, flower bringing, because y'all left Colorado with a loss. And so I think that's really important, Uncle Neely.
I'm with you on that Biggie bar, man. When my burger alarm starts ringing, they can't. Yeah, who is that? They can't come in here and get one. We got to have it. We just absolutely have to play our ball. You remember back in the day, man. It sounded like a long time ago, but it feel like it was just last year when you had Peyton Manning at the Colts and Brady was over at the Patriots, and you were playing them. The one thing you had to do is keep them on the bench. So you had to have this ground game that just methodically milked the clock and gave you an opportunity, time of possession, because you knew when they got on the field, they're gonna score.
Right.
Well, that's what we have here. We have a prolific offense when it gets going. When it gets going, Shedeur to Wester, Shedeur to Travis, Shedeur to Jimmy Horn, Shedeur to Will Shepherd, the one arm back. I call him back pylon, R1 on my PlayStation when I use him, because he gonna absolutely come down with a 50-50 ball in the end zone. You can't really stop that. The only way to stop it is to keep it off the field. And so you got to make sure that you sustain some drives for Utah. But whoa, here come this revamped defensive line who's allowing 100 less yards total game than it did last year. And so running ain't as easy as you thought it was going to be. Now we force you to be a passing team. And when you face Colorado, a 3 and out amounts to a turnover.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have productivity on that possession, and we do, look at this. I challenge everybody to go back and look at that first quarter at Texas Tech. What that defense did for Colorado, holding Texas Tech to 2 field goals instead of allowing 2 touchdowns, is the difference between 21-0, 13-0. 13-0, 1 touchdown, you still in this game, and now you got the ball after halftime. 21-0, that's a different mentality. You talk about body language and how people carry themselves. It's like you got to really believe when you down 21-0. The way this defense balls, the way that we can stymie what Utah wants to do, and the way our offense can click, if it clicks early in those first possessions, man, give me Colorado all day.
I love it. I love it, man.
Let me because I know you've been around a lot of ball.
Yeah.
I know you've been around a lot of college programs that do it right, like Georgia. You and your relationship with Kirby Smart is just through the roof. Tell you something I've seen here, and I want you to tell me why it works so well. You got D. Lewis, who's D-line coach. Warren Sapp comes in as an analyst for the defensive line. Vincent Dancy moves up from analyst to DN coach. Normally, those would be 3 different offices, 3 different classrooms. These brothers all teach the same together out of one room, no ego amigo. You tell me why that works.
Man, first of all, you got people who are confident. So when people are secure in what they do, you don't mind if somebody else kind of tinkers a little bit over here on my side, or can tell me or can hold me accountable, because I'm confident enough and secure in who I am as a person, as a coach, and as a former player, that I don't mind taking. I'm not above correction. And when we see the egos that go along with college football, a lot of times you got to have a separate office for this guy, because one, I got to have all my accolades showing. 2, I got to make sure that everybody knows that when you come talk to me, whatever decision comes out was my decision. Well, the best families and the best parenting comes from when auntie can spank you, when uncle can spank you, when neighbor can spank you, when it takes a village. And I think that's what the defensive line has become, a village, because you can't go over auntie house, or you can't go over Uncle Warren house and do something that you wouldn't do over here in Papa Lewis house. And it's the same thing, vice versa. You can't go over there with Uncle Dancy and do something different. So I think to me, that's like that village mentality. And you see him play with that, because every guy who comes in there has the same intensity. You don't see a drop off when that defensive line subs. And when you got 8, 9 guys who can bring that same type of fire for 4 quarters, and you're going up against the same 5 offensive linemen, that's like you jumping somebody. And what do families do? You hit one, you hit us all. Same thing, baby.
We coming together. Let me tell you this. May she rest in peace. My aunt Becky Joe up there in Coldwater, Mississippi, right before you get to Memphis, she was about 4'3", but she whooped my ass way more than my mama did. And I'm talking about anywhere from the back of your calves up to your upper back was in the target zone. So I know aunties that can whoop, baby, when you get out of line. But I feel you. That's the same thing I see. I see these guys, even finish each other's sentences, cut each other off, and there's no like, hey, man, it's my room to talk. And they're using the same terminology. And you look at this defense, the proof is just absolutely in the damn pudding as far as the outcomes. And Sapp said it from day one. He said, when we start getting these sacks, they're going to come in bunches. Because everybody was kind of like, oh, man, D-Lou, first-round pick, Sapp, first-round pick and Hall of Famer. We're not seeing what we thought we were going to get. And they were like, just watch. It's coming. Because you have to earn the right to rush the quarterback. And that starts with stopping the run. Man, when you got to week 3, it's probably since week 3 and 4, we've been leading the conference in sacks. And now we're like top 5 in the top 6 for sure in the nation in sacks.
Yeah, absolutely. I could say it any better. Now, you tell me, what was the light bulb that clicked for the Buffaloes after the Nebraska game?
I think it was an embarrassment. Embarrassment would be my answer. We beat Nebraska pretty soundly here in Boulder last year. And it was probably one of our more complete games to show what the potential of this team could do. We went up there, and I think from a coaching standpoint, all the way down to player effort and player execution, we left it with our heads down, embarrassed at ourselves. And I also want to say this, Deuce Scoop, that one of the things I saw that happened in Nebraska that wasn't happening last year, no one was pointing at the other unit or other players. Everybody left there pointing at themselves. What could I have done better? Why wasn't I more prepared to play? Last year, this team was folding a lot because you saw the offense bickering with the defense, or the defense, the linebackers bickering with the D-line or with the safeties behind them. Now it's like one band, one sound, like everybody's together, united. And when it didn't work in Nebraska, I'll tell you this, man, 2 things that happened this season that I think have just aided into the success of the program. 1, the loss at Nebraska and the manner in which we lost. 2, having to go to Florida to UCF early to get there ahead of the hurricane that put us in here comes a big ACT word, a sequestered environment where the players were just amongst themselves without distractions. The unification that happened after those 2 events brought this team together. I mean, it was like, remember the Titans when Denzel took them, up there to Gettysburg. Like how they left those 2 moments put this team on a path to absolute success. That loss in Nebraska, best thing could have happened.
Yeah, I wasn't around as much as I am now to see what happened. So that was really a question for me that I really wanted to know, because I saw a difference in that team. Even in the Kansas State game, it was still a different team. Like they're the same team. They went into Nebraska one way and left a different way. And I always wanted to know what, from your perspective, what that was. And that's something I would have asked you on the phone, like when we talked. And I'm glad that we, like, I'm gonna start, you know what, when we talk, I'm gonna start saving mine for here.
Like, hey, like I started the show off with, this ain't scripted. Like, you don't know what I'm gonna ask you. You don't know, but I don't know what I'm gonna be asked. It's just live. It's two brothers. Again, if you just joined us, man, we have 1.4, and I know on Chico's is more than that, so we probably like 2,000 plus watching here live. The Pregame Show Network, new show, You Tell Me. This is the first episode. Yours truly, Uncle Neely, my man Dukes the Scoop.
Yeah.
His family call him chop kicks. Like, y'all don't know that. Like, he used to jump off the bed throwing karate. Wanted to get together, do something. We're gonna bring these to y'all live on Mondays, 4:30 Mountain Time. That's 6:30 on the East Coast, and we're just gonna chop it up. And we're gonna take questions from y'all. So Chico's producing in the background. If you see a question you need us to take, where we can tell the audience something, we'll do it. One thing I want to know, and this is not really a you tell me.
Okay.
This is, now that you're on this new path, exploring your options. You talked about the happiness part of it. What you tell me what the people can expect 2025 from Deuce to Scoop?
Man, you're gonna expect a ton of content, some real talk, something that I've been dying to do, to really get on and kind of just proverbially let my hair down, but on some real stuff, just really come out here and just really be myself in a way that I couldn't be before. You can also expect more collaborations with me, and Chico. Me and Bucky got some more stuff on the way. And I think you can expect a lot of independency from me. Like, you're going to see me on as many independent platforms as you will see any other platforms. And because now Coach Prime he got a lot of people. So when he put that tweet out, some people came calling. But I don't have to take everything that comes my way, because you guys have given me an independent platform where, dude, you gonna make some money, bro. Come on with it. And it's like, you ain't got to just keep taking what they give. And I say this, I liken it to when black coaches a lot of times, and I've always wanted to say this, in the NFL, a lot of times they take the worst job possible. And then they get canned early. And instead of waiting their time until they get the right job. And you guys have provided me a way to, I don't have to do anything else if I don't want to. Like, we talk those are the type of things that you guys have provided me. So what you can expect is a lot more independent action. And I like it better on this way too, because can't nobody tell me what to do. You couldn't tell me what to do before. That's why I got in trouble in the first place. You can't tell me where to go. What?
I was about to say that. That's how you end up here, because couldn't nobody tell you what to do.
You can't tell me what to do. Like I'm not going. Yeah, right.
Yeah. One thing I love about the vision of this is, of course, Bucky, Darius, we work together daily. Been working together daily for 4 years. But a lot of folks get into this headspace where they try to limit people to their expectations of them. Like, I want Deuce to Scoop to have a nice car, but then when he get 2 cars, I say he's doing too much. And what I work on is, I don't try to limit people to what I see for them, because I want them to have what they see for themselves. And I don't have an issue as a content creator with this platform. It ain't bothering me to see Dukes on ESPN, on Well-Off Media, on Reach. That's only bringing more this way. Like, a rising tide lift all boats. You can't pour water into a lake and it just make one boat go up. Every boat parked out there gonna go up. And so the way I look at this thing, brother, it's 7 days in a week, and you got a morning, an afternoon, and an evening. That's 21 opportunities. Oh, they got the number 21. There's 21 opportunities for content to be produced. Why wouldn't you be all over it? But I tell you this now, and you said it. You said it first, so it ain't me telling you something you don't already know. So this to the people out there. Me and Coach Prime did this. He's Professor Prime during the spring. He teaches some classes in communication. So he's had myself, Bucky, Darius come with him on some particular nights together or separately. And someone was asking me about Coach Prime's brand management and how we help that. And I got an amen from Coach Prime because he didn't know what my answer was going to be. And I'm not going to give y'all the whole answer, but the punchline was this. The only way to truly increase the value of your yes is to make sure you tell some people no. You can't go out there doing everything with everybody and expect your brand to be top tier. Because if people know they can get you and you're always available, that diminishes the value of what you're bringing.
Man,
If you go down that bread aisle, it's 50 different loaves of bread all up and down. There's some aisles you go down, ain't but one or two things in that space.
mm-hmm.
So you all have to be careful. I don't care if you're out there dating, I don't care if you're out there in business, I don't care what you're doing. Remember, the real value of your yeses is attached to your nose.
Amen. Amen. Man, that's so strong, man. I had a meeting earlier this year, and a partner of mine, and I told him, I was like, look, I know we got something to do, and this is something that we had on the schedule for a long time. My partner, he really well up. He's well off actually, and he said, "Hey, dog, you had this meeting with me for this long time, and you're gonna let this meeting, what you think could take you further, that you think can, and you're gonna push this one back because you know you got this one." He said, so at the end of the day, he said, understand the value of you being busy. And when he said, you get to be busy too. See, just because they're a corporation don't mean that they can stop what you got going on. Because they don't know who you're meeting with. But just because I'm your partner, you think that, oh, okay, well, I could just get with my partner later. And man, it rang so loud to me, man, to the point where I was like, bro, like you get to say no sometimes. And just because you say no, it don't make it. You're not saying no because you're not a good person, but it took a long time for us to build what we built.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't get to come on these like okay, now I know you didn't call me because of what, like just because I called you. I also put in the work, and you see my work ethic, and you knew the brand that I built. So you said, "Nah, come on, dude. Yeah." Because my resume was already like, I know dude's going to work. And I ain't do, and I don't. You almost got to slow me down. Like, hey, dude.
Yeah. I'll be doing the Heisman on you. Be like, hold up now, hold up.
You almost got to slow me down.
Yeah, you have to, man. Because
Yeah.
I'm in the words of DMX, may he rest in peace. DMX taught me I'm gonna do like hungry do and get a hungry crew. If you ain't hungry, you can't be around me. Because I'm trying to eat and I'm trying to get it. And like Coach Prine done told y'all, Neely ain't gonna miss no meals. I got to get it. Because this look at this gray hair in your beard and mine. We on the backside this thing like this.
Yeah, man.
It's more behind us than ahead of us. We got to do this now while we can still do it, because these opportunities ain't something that lasts. And so you have to make sure you're always growing and evolving and stretching yourself beyond boundaries and stretching yourself beyond what other people think you should be doing. Like you have to grow in your manner, man. That's what I love about when I see you on other platforms doing your thing. Like, nah, man, this dude cooking, man. Let him cook, dog. Let him cook.
Man, I appreciate it. Like, and you know what? Like growing up, like I always was like one of the people. Like, can I do this? All right, let me go. Like ADHD for sure. Like I'm always everywhere, and sometimes that'll get ahead of you. But being in a space where you can feel where these fans in this space are so just they about it, bro. Anything with it, they with it. You know what I mean? So it's like you can go in different places and not feel the burnout because everybody is really they really moving on one accord. I ain't seen no fan base like this, bro. Like I was saying, man, they was on my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, man, I got a Facebook page that don't even got my name on it, bro. They found me. They're like, dude, we got your back. Like, I'm looking at like people still making wall posts. So like, I'm like, bro. Hey, so I ain't never seen nothing like this.
They on your black page and your MySpace.
Man.
So you don't even know how to log in no more, but they on your Black Planet. Like,
oh man, boy, you crazy. Yeah, man. But
man, we got 1,500 plus. All right, at 2,000 on both channels watching combined. First episode of the weekly show, You Tell Me, with Uncle Neely and Deuce the Scoop. Hey, my man producing BiggDogg Chico on the back. If you got a second, throw up some of the super chats on the screen. Want to make sure we acknowledge those people. I think I've seen about 6 go by. Renee Rainey, appreciate your $10. Championship bound. That is the game plan. If we go 1-0 4 times, we in the CFP. Monroe says, if Coach Prime stayed, he would be at Colorado what Nick was to Alabama. I see CU winning the Big 12 every year. What you tell me? You tell me, Scoops, what you think about Monroe's comment?
I love it because, and I'll say it, and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna say it every time somebody asks me. There is nobody in the Big 12 that can recruit with the same national imprint that Coach Prime can. UCF cannot go get a kid from Washington the same way that Coach Prime can. Oklahoma State can't go into the bottom of Florida the same way that Coach Prime can. There are just Arizona cannot go to DC the same way that Coach Prime can. There are just certain things that you will not be able to do in this conference that Coach Prime, and I think where he is right now, he's setting himself up the same way that we saw Dabo when he was at Clemson. He was just recruiting at a different level, and you saw the wins and the championships come behind it. The only difference is with some of these quarterbacks, you call lightning in a bottle at Clemson.
Yeah.
Coach Prime ain't got to catch lightning in the bottle. He is a thunderstorm. He can bring it whatever he wants to. So when I say that, like, you feel me? So like it's like, and then with the transfer portal, and then look, they just changed the rule the other day. I don't know if you saw this, where they said you get unlimited official visits, right?
Man, that was gonna be, go ahead, because that was gonna be my final. You tell me, because I know you've been in this recruitment game a long time. You tell me, because look, let me tell you, dog. You see this great hair, all right? I done been in coach's office waiting by the fax machine. Okay, now the fax machine don't even matter no more because national letters of intent don't matter no more, and now it's unlimited visits. So you tell me, Duke to Scoop, college football wide, or with a coach like Deion Sanders, what's the impact that's going to be on college ball going forward?
Man, so on college ball, what it's going to do is going to make people have their bread, right? Because you got to – official visits ain't cheap, first and foremost. Like, they're not cheap, all right? Now, secondly, what it's going to do is it's going to make more people want to – see, people are going to start to strategically use official visits to keep people away from certain schools, right? Now, so I'm looking at the strategy. I play a lot of chess. All right, so what Coach Prime's strategy before this rule was, he wasn't just passing out official visits like candy because he wanted to save it because there was a certain number that you had to have. And so he saved them because a lot of people would give them out early and they wouldn't have any left for the transfer portal. So what this did, now, I'm not, without saying it, this was almost like something where you looked at Prime's model and what he was doing and how it worked for him this year. They said, okay, well, fine, unlimited visits. Because I really didn't like it, to be honest, because you don't do that in the middle of a year, because if that was the case, then you could have gave out more for the people who saved their money, right? Imagine this. We all get the same $20. Me and you brothers. Parents give us both the same $20. All right. I saved my 20 and I only got a certain amount of time to spend it. And you spent yours early. So now I got 40 in the time, but I already missed the fair. I already missed the bookstore. I already missed everything else. So now I got $40 and I can only spend it in a certain place. And now you got 20 to spend it in the same. And so basically it's like the same amount of money. That's what I didn't like about that rule, because Coach Prime, they had a very specific strategy when they went into this, which was to say that we're not just going to be passing out official visits, because we're going to make sure we got enough when it counts for the transfer portal.
Sure.
And now it's just like, oh, well, everybody gets unlimited in the middle of the season. I ain't like that. So I know that you tell me about the impact was that it was a negative impact for those who strategized for the transfer portal. But at the same time, when you look at those guys who had that strategy, like an Ole Miss and a Colorado, they're strong in the portal regardless. And it's not just because of the visits. It's about who's hosting the visit. And I think that Coach Prime, it ain't going to matter, because in that portal this year, now you got proof of concept. You know that if you come to Colorado, you can win. It's going to be hard to tell them Buffaloes no.
Proof of concept is mofo, man. We got the 1.6 watching. If y'all watch it, make sure you click that like button, hit that subscribe as well, whether you're on BiggDogg's channel or the pregame show. It's all the same love in the family. Make sure you hit that little thumbs up, hit that little bell for notifications, hit that subscription button, because we're going to bring this program, this show, every Mondays, 4:30 p.m. Mountain, 6:30 Eastern. You tell me, with Duke the Scoop and Uncle Neely. Marcus Clark dropped 5. Appreciate that. Unc plus Duke equals the future. He's the future and now, brother. Appreciate that. Marcus Clark, we on to something going to keep it going as well. Dude, I'm with you, because I think everything what you just said was beautiful. Spot on. Nobody can push back on your knowledge of recruitment and how this thing operates. But the first words out your mouth, that's when the ball went over the fence. Got to get your bread right, because I don't think people understand the financial burden on a university, on a football program, and the cost of an official visit. And when you're on an official visit, the program bears that cost. You can unofficially visit somewhere and you and your mama can drive. When you're on an official visit, that food, that hotel, that car you riding in, that stuff has to be budgeted for or fundraised for. And like you said, man, there's some people out there had a plan and their plan was on the way. Not everybody could do it. But here's what I say. Whether it's stuff like that, or eventually, watch this, dude. Watch this now. Watch this. In the next year or two, you're going to have a rule that celebrities can't be in the locker room or can't bring teams out on the field. You're going to have rules that are just specifically designed without mentioning Deion Sanders' name. Because like you said earlier about recruitment, who from these other regions can go into other regions and get players? He can go from Colorado, Florida, to Texas, to Ohio, to DC and get guys. People can't. So you're going to see rules come in place. Just like Roy Williams, you can't horse tackle no more. Just like Emmitt Smith, you can't take your helmet off no more. You're going to have some unspoken prime rules that come down the pipeline to kind of stymie and hold back this brother's success and what he's doing, because there's just so many things that he can do that other programs and coaches can't do.
Yeah, and I think as long and this is the time to take advantage of that. So because it's it's coming. Like and we don't have to sit around and beat around the bush. They're gonna be the Jordan rules. There were certain things put in place, right, that helped Jordan, that slowed other people down. Well, this is like the reverse of it, because the Deion rules are gonna be to slow him down, because he didn't go on anybody else's time. He went on his, and nobody saw this coming, right? Yeah. Nobody saw it coming. 1,800 in the chat.
Yeah, it's rolling, bro.
Oh man,
it's rolling.
You tell me.
You tell me if we ain't gonna do no episode 2. Like,
I'll be here for sure.
But what you the road you going down? Coach Prime coaching tree is God. Like, he ain't a part of nobody coaching tree. Like, he ain't got his job because he was on somebody else's staff, years ago and did this or that. The brother is blessed. He knows how to lead people, galvanize people, and he does it in a manner that other people can't do it like that. Or it comes like, even they try to imitate the videos or the hype stuff, it comes across as fake and backfires. And so he's in this unique space. And I'm telling y'all, you're gonna see some rules come out that are designed without saying his name. They'd be like, well, we can't do that no more because everybody can't do it as good as he do. It's like you said, the reverse Jordan. Jordan was good for the league. And what folks don't see, because they got that hate in them and they're selfish, they don't understand why Deion Sanders is good for college football.
Right. And they won't get it until you take that out of it. You take those preconceived notions about who he is. You won't understand that this is probably one of the most genuine people walking the face of this earth. And I'm not saying it just because he did something for me, not because he took me in and he mentored me. I'm saying it because if I didn't know him, the first time I met Coach Prime, my Aunt Tiny, shout out to Aunt Tiny, Shirley Johnson with a caramel case. Aunt Tiny sent us down there, and I
want a cake, Aunt Tiny. I want a cake now.
And she's gonna get you one too. Look, Aunt Tiny out there in Nashville, Tennessee, by way of Franklin. Man, I seen Coach Prime. Everybody's in line. Coach Prime, and to get at the book signing. And I get there, and he just says, and he stops and he says, man, I always want my little gold chains, my ropes. He said, Coach Prime, I don't wear nothing but ropes, man. I like that, brother. That little bit right there.
Yeah.
Now this, I'm at the end of the line. He didn't have to say nothing to me. He didn't have to say, hey, man, he could have signed that book and gotten up out of there. But he looked at me. He noticed what I had on. He noticed my demeanor or whatever it was. And he sat there and he talked to me. Now, this is before he had no idea. He don't even know this story. If I go back and tell him and show him the picture of his book signing, he going to trip out. But what I mean to say is this. This is a genuine person whose persona is larger than life. And what happens, and I always say this, what happens when people don't understand something? They fear it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We hate when we don't understand.
Yeah,
we attack
and that's what you're saying. That's the hate. They don't understand how he can do this. They don't understand why he does it his way, because it's not supposed to go this way. Oh, he didn't come from a coaching tree. Oh, he came from Jackson State. Oh, he was a high school coach. Oh. But like you said, what coach's tree is he on?
God's.
Amen.
Let me tell you this. There's another Neelyism. Y'all get ready to write this down. It's real short, easy to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Every institution was once a revolution. Whatever you see out there that is commonplace every day in your face, somebody had to fight like hell for that to become established. I don't care if it's traffic lights. When Gary Morgan first invented the traffic light, a black man, by the way, you best to believe it was people out there fighting it. It was people out there that didn't want it. What we need that for? All you got to do is say "whoa" to a horse at a stop. Everything that you see out there that is commonplace, somebody fought like hell for it. And it's the same battle we're doing now in this college football space with Coach Prime as the tip of the spear. This revolution is going to become an institution. You're going to see more and more brothers who can truly be themselves as brothers get jobs because they're going to be able to recruit being themselves. They're going to be able to function without having to code switch. They're going to be able to do their thing, whether it's in HBCUs, mid-majors, or Power Fives. And it's going to be all because of the success that Deion Sanders created at Colorado and the ripple effect from it. And the same thing with platforms like this. Their brothers been out there putting applications in ESPN and Fox for years. They're going to look at this kind of thing and be like, man, I got a relationship. I got Wi-Fi. Let me do my own thing. I'm telling y'all, every institution was once a revolution. You look at Netflix, dog. Do you remember when Netflix used to mail you a DVD that you had to mail back?
Yeah, come on, man.
They don't went from that to producing their own movies in a 15-year span.
Come on, bro.
What Deuce the Scoop gonna be in 15 years? Like if he keep betting on himself like they bet on themselves.
Amen, man.
Keep revolting, brother, is what I'm saying. Keep revolting.
Hey, man, you know what? I don't know no other way, man. Like, but one thing about it, man, like I'll say this, and it's difficult for me to talk about because, man, when you come from a certain background, sometimes they tell you like you that's crazy, or you ain't supposed to do that, or you better keep that good job. But I always been the one that was like, bro, we ain't doing that. Nope, I'm standing on that. Like even when I left my operations manager job, good job, before my mama passed away, she said, boy, you better stay on that good job. And I was like, I say, Mom, like, I got it, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We talk like that. But when it comes down to knowing that, like you said, when you know your source ain't somebody's checkbook, but God is the one who's moving the pen.
Absolutely.
Man, and my favorite verse is that Jeremiah 32:27 right now, man. What's too hard for God?
Nothing.
So nothing, man. So man, but don't get me into testifying.
No, we got plenty more Mondays to come. It's 52 of them in a year. And we ain't planning on missing none of them.
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Uncle Neely, who playing you in the movie?
Oh man.
Bruce Leroy, shout out to you, big dog.
Yeah, that is a good. Give me a minute on that one, because I got to think about the timeline and when it's gonna start. And give me a second. We'll come back to that one. Let me hit the super chat I saw. Okay. A super chat asked about the rewind with Tolly Carr and also about the big boys. Got some breaking news for you. Me and Coach Reed recorded a big boys today that drops tomorrow afternoon on the Pregame Show Network. And me and Tolly Carr got a rewind coming Thursday. It's back. Tolly had to do some other assignments with HBCU Go. They've been going around to HBCU games, covering those live with a nice set. Procter & Gamble sponsored it. I mean, man, it's top notch. So he's been having to take care of that. And the big boys starts back tomorrow. And one thing, like me and Duke's been trying to tell y'all, even with You Tell Me, this ain't a football season show. This ain't a Colorado show. You're going to see when we get into recruiting into January, February, and we're going to be talking about the NBA in the spring. Like this is a show of two brothers getting together who just want to know, man, you tell me what the hell going on, because I can't figure it out. 1.7 over the other channel combined. That's going to put us up around that well above the 2K mark watching live. And of course, you can also watch this on repeat. This is the first episode ever. You know, a lot of times in the industry, Duke, they like to call them pilot episodes because they just testing it. Yeah. This ain't a pilot. We're going to do this again.
No, absolutely, man. No, 1,000%.
Yeah, we're going to do this again. We're coming up on that hour mark, brother. You know, we don't have no time limits or that kind of thing, so we can go longer. But having said that, Anything else you want to get off your chest on You Tell Me before we wrap this thing up on this first episode?
Man, happy. What for real them say? Happy.
Because I'm
Happy.
happy.
Yeah, man. Hey, it just feels good to be home. That's all I can say.
Hey, the basement said Charles Dutton playing Neely. That's who played The Rock, and that's who The Rock looked like. So I love it. I love it. My brother probably get on here and say Forrest Whitaker. He like messing with me. So
Now you know what? That's like, man. I've been seeing it's one dude at Colorado keeps saying I look like one of the dudes on Joe Budden podcast. But
yeah, it's the beard. I agree. I can't think of his name, but I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with you on that. Hey man, first episode. I think this was good vibe. We knew we had the chemistry. We knew what we were gonna do. We're gonna bring this again every Monday, 4:30 p.m. Mountain, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You Tell Me, Uncle Neely with Deuce to Scoop. Keep bringing you all the facts and figures, because sometimes you just got to scratch your head and ask another brother, hey man, you tell me. I don't know. One more thing before we get out here. I saw this go by. Yes, the game is televised. The game against Utah is televised. It's on Fox. Fox is actually coming here for big noon kickoff as well. So 10 a.m. Mountain Time, that's going to be noon Eastern, 11 Central. You can watch the game on Fox. And next week's game in Kansas, where we go to Arrowhead Stadium, has been announced as 1:30 Mountain, 3:30 Eastern. That's going to be on Fox as well. You tell me. Take us out of here, Duke.
Hey, man, God is good. Thank y'all, man. See you next week.